but by then there will be a new mayor and a new city council. The people who voted for the long gone are going to be long gone because of term limits. Now, if the space needs were miscalculated, the new city officials could be facing an entirely different criminal justice dilemma. Jessica.
Well, Marcia, the commissioner made no bones about it. He's concerned about the safety of New Yorkers. Did the mayor have anything to say about this?
Well, Jessica, earlier this morning, the mayor appeared on Hot 97 Ebro in the Morning, where he seemed to downplay some of the commissioner's concerns.
His job is, by definition, to be worried about how we keep crime down. Absolutely clear that we're going to keep crime down, keep the number of people who have to ever be incarcerated lower.
Well, as you heard, the mayor did not seem too worried about James O'Neill's safety concerns, but not everybody agrees. Earlier today, I spoke with CBSN New York's urban affairs expert Mark Peters about the mayor's comments.
First of all, Commissioner O'Neill is not somebody who's known to worry unnecessarily. And I don't know that it's wise for any mayor to be dismissing out of hand the legitimate public safety concerns expressed by a police commissioner. I think that clearly the NYPD has brought crime down. I expect the NYPD will be able to keep crime down. But there's a big difference between keeping crime down and reducing it by something like 50% and never having it go up again.
All right, so very intelligent people on both sides of this argument. Let's put your debate team hat on. Can you argue the merits of both sides? So the
merits of the mayor's proposal is he actually has a plan that he says will reduce the jail population by about 7,200 to 3,300, and that's the maximum number of beds that will be in the new jails. And it depends on a number of factors, including a dramatic drop in the number of violent felons who will be in jails. In fact, he wants to reduce it by 1,200. Now, Mark Peters would say, on the other hand, that's a really tall order to say that people are going to suddenly not commit violent crimes and not end up in jail.
Well, especially given that crime is at such a low point right now. Can we arguably cut that number already at rock bottom by another 50%?
Well, what Mark Peters says is that because it's at historic lows, to get it half of that, you're talking, you know, can you really change human nature that much?
Yeah.
He says no, and the thing about it is, as he points out, you can't just reduce it. You have to keep it that way forever.
Exactly.
Because otherwise, you're going to need more beds.
Right. And then we're talking about building additional facilities or expanding on the facilities.
It becomes a whole, you know, nightmare scenario.
So for the rest of us, I think a lot of people are wondering, are we going to be safe? I mean, the commissioner and the mayor are saying two different things. When your police commissioner is saying, I'm concerned, should we be concerned?
Well, I would go with Jim O'Neill because he's the professional. He's a professional police person. He's been doing this for decades. So if he says he's worried, he's also worried about the fact that new criminal justice reforms that start in January could put more people on the streets because they're not going to have to pay bail. And he's worried that those people could not only endanger the victims of crimes, but they'll be told who the witnesses are, and he's worried that the witnesses could be in danger as well. And if they start going after the witnesses, more crimes, more serious crimes, jail population goes up.
Yeah, I can understand why he's concerned. So we know the deadline, they want this done by 2026. This has been a really long process. What's next?
So I think the real question is going to be, let's look at what happens to the jail population in the next 2 years. Because if they can bring it down substantially, probably less worry. But if the numbers don't go down the way they forecast, what's going to be is that the next mayor, because this mayor is going to be done in 2021, and the next city council, because they're going to be gone too, are going to have to say, hey, wait a minute. Now, there are several options. Number one, they could increase the size of these community jails so they add more floors, which is not going to make the community happy.
No.
Or another really bad choice, they could rule to keep Rikers open because they're going to need the capacity. Another choice that's not going to make people happy, but very hard decisions that will have to be made if these numbers don't go down.
I guess we'll see in a couple of years.
We will.
Thanks, Marcia. And we will continue to follow this story on CBSN New York and, of course, on our website, cbsnewyork.com. You're watching CBSN New York. Thanks so much for that.